Good morning, everybody. It's your girl Nessa here, back with another diary entry. And today is Father's Day, but I'm not in a good mood at all. I literally jumped up out of bed, took a shower, and I've just been driving around in circles. I don't have nothing to do today. I should be spending time with my kids and my husband, but my mind is just not here. And I can't help but think about life in general. You know, being a father or a mother is very significant to another's life. It plays a big role in the mistakes you make along the way. Your child will grow up and resent you for it. And I sit back and I try to think about all these things when it comes to my children. I try to be on the same page with my husband, with our children, and like the stuff that we went through as kids, what we do and do not want for our kids. But the process is hard because comparing your childhood to your child's childhood is impossible because they're still growing. And what you went through, your kids might not necessarily go through the same things. And therefore, you only can teach what you know. And if you know your parents to be a certain way with you, and you're trying not to be that way with your kids, it becomes a challenge. It becomes difficult to analyze and understand how it may affect your children. And I say all this to say because, Father's Day is important just as much as Mother's Day. But today I realized that men, especially in today's society, they don't appreciate being a father. They don't respect that role. And I'm talking in general. If you look in today's society, you see a lot of broken homes. You see a lot of children that's rebelling because they're angry about their childhood. You see, sorry guys, I'm a mess today. You see a lot of angry kids being brought up and let go into the world, and therefore you have the results of killings, drug dealers, jailbirds, murderers, drug addicts, all of that because they're angry and they resent something that happened to them as a child, or something that their parents never took the time to understand from their point of view. As a human being, nobody is perfect, and we are expected to be put on a platter once you become a parent. But from the outside looking in, it's easy to look and say, oh, this person's a good dad, and this person is a good mother, and this person, but on the inside, you have no clue what's going on. And the child themselves is conflicted with hurt and pain, to the point where their soul is becoming damaged. Their personality is becoming damaged, and there's nothing that can be done to it until they become an adult. And it's too late, because once they're an adult, that's it. There's no change in them. They are who they are. They're stuck in their ways. no matter what you do. This diary entry is morally say about parenthood, both mothers and fathers, specifically fathers, because they don't understand, like they think that they can just, have a child with a woman, and as long as they're paying child support or whatever the case may be, they think that's being a father. That's not being a father. There's far more to it. You have to build a relationship with your child. You have to sustain that relationship. You have to be able to understand your child as they grow into an adult that you're grooming them to be. You have to guide them. Guide their little footsteps along the way as they mature into an adult. You have to protect them. You have to persuade them to want better in life, to go after their dreams, to support them to do so. There's a lot that goes into it. But society, I don't know. Society today with these fathers, I don't know what happened. And it's not for me to figure out. My husband is a great father to his kids, but he's not perfect. My father is a great father, but he's not perfect either. From my experience with my father, he has conflicted me in many ways growing up. I think I still hold on to that pain and resent him for it, for a lot of things, only because I feel like as an adult now I still go through the same things with him. You would think that being an adult, a little things would lift up, a little things would change, because there's a certain understanding between the both of you, being on a different level of life. But that is something that I have to just accept. I have come to terms that it will never get better between me and my dad. But the one thing I'm scared of is I try to analyze between my husband and my father, and I try to protect my children from certain things, and it becomes a burden to me as a mom, because I don't want it to seem like I'm pointing fingers or I'm blaming or I'm relaying my childhood into my children's childhood. But how do I ignore the things that my father has put me through? I can't ignore it. It has affected me significantly to this very day. Why? Because I'm still going through it. So when I look at my boys, like I want to raise them to be responsible men, respectable men, successful men. I want them to be the total opposite from what I know. And the first example of a man in a woman's life is her father. So same thing goes for a son. The first example of a man is their father. So that's why it's so important for fathers to try their best, But I can honestly say my father was always a provider. Always. But the relationship was never there. The relationship was always crucified and judged and spontaneously convenient when necessary. But there's no emotional connection. Now, because of that, it has spilled over into my life. because of the things that we've gone through and thought about, I relate it to my life as a wife and as a mother, because I look for certain things in my husband because of what I've been through with my dad. And I try to prevent certain things with my two kids because of what I went through with my dad. Now, I don't say all of this to try to bash him. I'm telling you my reality and my perspective of how important fathers are. Because it's a trickle-down effect. And the men that come along the way, the future generation, are affected by the ones that came before them. Because if your great-great-grandfather was known for something,
you need to come in.
Then your grandchildren are gonna know him for that also. If uncle was known for doing this, then his children is gonna be known for doing this, and then his children's children is gonna be known for, it's a trickle down effect. So that's what I'm trying to point out. It's a trickle down effect, and I don't want certain things to trickle down to my boys, and I'm trying my best to avoid it. I'm trying my best to not become a bitter woman because of certain things. And I don't know. I'm feeling real let down. I'm feeling disappointed. I'm feeling bitter. I'm feeling real angry. Feeling real angry because I know that things can be better with all the fathers of the world. If they could just see how bad they affect their children. If they could just take heed and understand it. I see a lot of children without their fathers in their lives, and it kills me. I went through the most traumatizing things to make sure that my kids have their fathers in their life, because I don't want them to be a stereotype. I don't want them to have the empty hole in their heart when they grow up. I don't want them to be angry when they grow up. And I just look around me and I see a lot of single moms out there, and it's ridiculous. You don't have to be in love to be parents. You can co-parent. You made a child together, so stick by that child together. You're in it together. Women shouldn't have to struggle and try to figure it out and try to teach their kids things that they can't, because a man's perspective is very different from a woman's perspective. And most of the time where we go wrong is us women. We think that we can be mother and father for our sons and teach them everything. You're wrong. They need that manly perspective and presence for them to understand and go through certain things in life when they get older. This entry is morally to reach out to all of you that watch this, and I'm begging you, all single moms out there, let go of the anger and try to allow your child's father to be present. Work with him. You are angry, but work with him and teach him how to be the father that you expect him to be for your child. And he should hold himself to the same standards also, and want to be a better father to his child, because your child is worth it. If they're not worth anything else, they're worth 2 good, strong parents behind them that want the best for them, because that's the best thing we can do for our kids in this world, this cold, harsh world. You know, last night I was at a cookout and a dear friend was so intoxicated, and I couldn't help but sympathize with her because I just know her pain and her struggle as a single mom, and it's breaking her down, and the only thing she can do is just try to get a sense of relief, and that's her sense of relief. You know, these are the reasons why people end up on drugs. People end up down and out because they don't know how to relieve themselves from the stress. They're just in it by themselves every day. They feel alone, and I just sympathized with her because even though I'm married, it doesn't mean that I have it all together and I have it all made. Having a partner is 10 times harder, but it's worth the try because two minds don't think alike, and two minds connected is better than one. It's better than one. And I really just felt it for her, and I don't know if this is why I woke up with this feeling and expressing my thoughts. But guys, please, women, men out there, if you're watching this video, try to do your best by your significant other or the mother of your child or your child, period. Please. And fathers out there, you too. Hold yourself to a certain standard that you can look back one day when you're old and say, you know, I did my best by my child. Nobody can take that away from you. Nobody. Because nobody will know the lengths that you went through to be the best parent you can be. We are not perfect. None of us are perfect. All of us have flaws. But love is something that should be cherished. And I know the love of a child, nothing can compare. Nothing can compare to the love of your child. So we gotta try to do better. We gotta try to get it together. Please, I'm begging all of you. I thank you for supporting me. I thank you for watching my videos. I thank you for taking time out of your day just to hear me out. I'm no superstar. I'm just a regular woman just like everybody else out there. And my diary entries are just to explore the topics that other women don't have anyone to talk to about or can't talk about it because they don't know how to express their feelings. I'm here for you to express it for you. If you have any topics that you want me to talk about, just comment down below or message me on my Facebook business page, Vanessa Anderson. Like, comment, and subscribe to my page, please, and I'll try to do more relatable topics. God bless to all of you, and thank you.